left off yesterday. Are we on page? I think we're on page Pevav. We're on page Pevav. So we're going to read at Lamed Tes. We're going to read across there. So the reason for this is the Vishakevin Shaor Makiv Shal Atik, who Godel Mekulim, since that light is so strong. And we were talking about the difference between the lights of the Penimim, of the lights of the Makifim, Mekulim. So this is the greatest of all the light. V'chein ein koch b'shum or acher. So there's no strength in any other light, l'sovlo, to be able to handle it. V'lehalvisho, and to surround it. V'chein nishar chutz mekulim. So therefore it has to be on the outside of all of them. V'chein al derek zen, the same way. B'shar oris makifim, it works the same way when you talk about makifim. Ki hagodol mechaveiro omed chutz mimenu umakifa. So it stands outside. So let's go see number Lamed Tes in the light print. He says, Atam shal makif hagodol shal atik. The reason why omed mechutz the kulam, though it's on the most outside part when we're talking about the makifim, umakiv the kulam hu, the fi sha'or hamakiv shal atik hu ha'or hamakiv yoser godol, since it's the greatest light. Mikol shar hapartzufim v'ha'oros. So he says, then come up in the next column, and he says, v'tam zeh. So the reason for this, he says, zeh, mitam zerab ein koch b'shum or maha'oros hakatanim. So that's not possible for any of the littler lights, any of the little sephiros, or the names of the lights, mimenu the halvish as orach hagodol da'atik. So that it has to be that the bigger one contains the other ones inside of it, or it surrounds them, but they can't surround it. So they can't lisbol b'socha b'niusa, so to be able to take with inside of it its penimius, the or yoser gadol, which is greater than it wouldn't be able to hold it. So number mem bet. So it says l'chein ha'or hamakiv da'atik nishar mechutz l'kol partzufim. So therefore it stays outside of all of the partzufim v'ha'oros hamakiv es kulam, and then it surrounds every other one. This is the system that works for all of the lights, hamakifim, sheyesh b'kol olamos, that we see in all of the different worlds. So he's a chavakol or makif agoda mechavero. So the rule is that every light which is greater than its next in terms of the makifim, oma b'chutz, it's on the outside of the previous lights of makif ala or hamoet, and it surrounds the light that is less than it, mimenu below ifcha, and not the opposite way. So let's go over to number Memhe, up at the top. So he says, Evenachzor ata l'inyanenu. Let's go back to talk about what we really started talking about. It was a long time ago. Ki hinecha klipos heim omdim be'emso. That is, where is the location of the klipos? This is an interesting fact. I don't think I got this in the Eitz Chaim. He says, Heim omdim be'emsa bein or hamakif or panimi. So it's in between the two systems of light. Panehem, and this is the part that I don't remember seeing, he says their faces, el nokach or panimi, is opposite. In other words, they're facing the or panimi, because he wants to say that it has an acharayim and upon him. So as v'acharayim el or hamakif, because its backside, he says, is directed at the surrounding light. The fisha ein bechem koich lihistakel, because they don't have the strength of the hisaches or hamakif, they can't get a hold of or look at the hisaches, I guess that's looking at the or hamakif. Let's go to Memrhe in the Tiv, and the Tiv says va'ata nachzor levayer kavanas seder ne'ilas hamana'alim. So let's talk about the order of putting on the shoes. He said, but instead of talking about the shoes yet, Shahare Moshe v'madach klipos, he has to tell you this fact: where the klipos live, who be'emse bein shnei oros, these two systems of light, shehena or hamakif or panimi, it's right in between the two malchuses. V'hinech v'kol parts of a bechina, yesh techem kaviyachol tzad panim v'tzad ach. So let's not forget that that's the fact. This is that every part of has a front and a back. So that I see myself, I see God in my own build, my own body. Yesh bechinas panim va'ach. So that also in the kala, in the klipa, you have the same thing. V'seder hamamidas haklipos hu ba'oven. So the way that they stand is in this way. Shepenechem shall haklipos omdim keneged the ora panimi. It's really in the front or facing the ora panimi. V'acharechem shall haklipos hem keneged ora makif. And that's the way they go. V'hatam shall haklipos omdim b'tzura zudaika. So why it has to be that the face of the klipa, it faces the panimi, and the back of the klipa faces the makif. V'ofen she'acharayim keneged or hamakif, that its back is towards the or makif. Whom shum? Why? She'en kor b'chitzayni v'haklipa v'histakel, because they can't look at this aches v'lekaber sheva meha'or hamakif. So it can't really get a hold of it and be able to receive the light. Where it says that when it says that phrase that you will not see my face, it's a concept that I guess you're standing outside of Atzilus and you can't look at it. It's something like that. Behind the shachaklipas achitzainim, ain't yechola the histako be'or hamakiv, so that the klipas which are outside of, he calls them the hitzainim. He said they're not able to look at the makiv. So therefore it has to be that only their backsides, who neged or hamakiv, corresponds to the place where the or hamakiv is. So therefore they're not able to receive this light, the shefa, that comes out of this great light, mina or hamakiv b'derek upon it. But rather whatever light that they receive from the makif, it has to be through their back. Rak as a shefer hamuchrach lehem, and all they get is the shefer that they absolutely have to have in order to sustain themselves. Lechem levad ach lo derek upon him, but not through the face. Okay, that's it for today.